A lot of you asked me to do a pitch, to really do a sales pitch. So I'm going to do you one, but I'm first going to explain a bit of context. So we're looking at a company called SweepBright. And what do they sell? They sell a solution that removes or reduces the administrative burden for mortgage sellers. So people that sell houses. Now, when I first came there, what happened was that their salesperson would pick up the phone and would phone a retail salesperson and would say, or the founder of one of those companies, and would say, hey, my name is X and I work for SweepBright and we reduce the administrative burden. And then this guy would start explaining about workflows and all of that. And then out of the 20 calls, he might get one meeting. So in order to understand what goes on in the mind of the prospect here is that most of the time, if you look at the demographic, most of them are somewhere between their 30s and 40s, maybe 45. They've been very successful in sales, so they're sales hungry. They don't like administration. And when you come and you say, I'm going to take away the pain of the administration, but then you talk for ages about the administration, you won't get their hunger. So I knew when I was looking at the company, I knew we got to find something that goes straight to the heart of these salespersons. And what goes straight to the heart of sales? It's money, it's revenue, it's winning, it's acquisition. So I figured out that in the marketplace, there was one company growing at a tremendous rate. So I said, let me try. So I took the phone and said, give me some numbers. I dialed the number and I phoned up and I said, hi, this is Michael from SweepBright. And I don't know if you know, but close to you, there is a company that has grown over 600%. And I would get complete silence on the other end. And I knew on that moment, I got them, right? I got them. So I said, who is that? And what is that? And what do you know about? And they kept asking questions and I kind of deviated them. And I said, listen, you know what? Why don't I come by. In those days, we could visit companies, right? Why don't I come by and explain you a bit of that? And let's talk about your business. So I would do 20 calls and I would get 19 appointments, which was already a big success. And then, originally, what SweepBright would do is when they would show up with the prospect, they would basically start explaining for 2 hours everything around workflow, next generation brokers. They would do all this story and basically they would bore their prospect to death. I did something completely different. I would walk in and you'll see immediately the slides that I use, and I can do it on a slide or I can draw it. It doesn't matter. I try to use something visual. The first thing I do is when I walk in is I try to build a connection. Hey, that's a nice office. And I would ask some questions, right? How many questions? Maximum 3. Otherwise, you're the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody likes them, right? So ask a few questions and then I would say, why don't we talk about your business? We've done a lot of research in the market. And not only did we do research, we have lots of customers. And one of the things that we notice is they always go to a similar pattern. And there are 5 steps when you put a listing, which is a house, on a website to sell, right? And I would take them through the 5 steps very quickly. I said, you can do this, and then you can do that. And then I would ask some questions. Do you do that? What do you like about it? You don't like it about it? And most of the time, everybody would agree and say, we don't like it. And then when I explained the 5 steps, I have to do something called provocative selling. I have to show them something which they were not aware of. So I told them, I said, listen, I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but if you look at those 5 steps, let me put them in a graph, how much time you're using on all of these steps. And I would draw a pie chart, and I would end the pie chart by saying 40% of your time is spent on client facing. So dear prospect, where do you win in your business? Yeah, the more I'm with customers, the more I can win because I'm a good sales guy, right? So I would say, so keep that number in mind, so 40%. So, and then I went back to remember that company that grew 600%? So I would draw a circle and I would say, you'll see it in the slide now. And I would say 40% of your customer facing time, that's what you spent. And the rest you spent on low value added task. Administration, but low value added task is the impact of administration. And then I would draw that to the left. And to the right, I would say, remember those company that grew 600%? You know how much time they spend on their customers? Well, we make same drawing, and then I would say 70% of their time goes to customer facing. Me, SweepBright, I will bring you from the 40% to the 70%. So basically what I've done now is I've done something called provocative selling. I've shown them something they didn't know, and I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't talk about SweepBright. I didn't say any technological word. I didn't talk about workflow. I basically only talked about impact and the way they can do their business differently, and I'm the one that can help them with a tool. This is an extremely strong sales pitch that works in most of the cases. One word of warning, this type of pitch would work in most cases, but it works very well for small to medium-sized companies. The moment you want to go to a higher company, a bigger company, they have different problems. They'll more think about structure, security, how can I enforce my rules and all of that. It's a very different pitch, right? So the moment with SweepBright, we started going to larger, way larger companies, we would alternate the pitch. But this is a very, very good example of how to bring a technology component to a company without even talking about the technology at first. You should try that, by the way.